All right, let's dive into something that's a huge step up for any developer or tester. We're going to talk about how you take those automated tests you've worked so hard on, the ones running perfectly on your own computer, and plug them into a real, professional, team-based workflow.
You've been there, right? You've written some amazing automation. You hit that little green run button in your IDE, everything lights up green, and you get that awesome feeling of success. But then, that question hits you. Now what? How does this personal victory actually help the team?
And that is the exact problem we're going to tackle. Because when your tests can only run on your machine with your specific setup, they're basically trapped. They can't be kicked off automatically, your teammates can't run them, and they're not really protecting the project when you're not around.
So, to break our project out of that local prison, we need some kind of universal key. A way to describe and run our project that works absolutely anywhere, on any machine, without needing a specific IDE. And for us, that key is a tool called Maven.
And when you put them side by side, the difference is just, well, it's night and day. Running your tests inside an IDE is cozy, for sure, but it's an isolated little island that depends entirely on your personal setup. Maven, on the other hand, was born for automation. It's like a universal language that lets any computer, any server, understand exactly how to build and test your project.
So what exactly is Maven? Honestly, the best way to think of it is as your project's general contractor. It manages the whole build. It knows how to compile your code, how to run your tests, and it keeps track of all the other libraries your project needs to work. And it does all of this from one central document.
And this right here is that file, the POM XML. This is the secret sauce. I love this analogy. It's your project's master recipe. It lists all the ingredients, we call those dependencies, and all the cooking instructions, we call those plugins, that are needed to create the final dish, your fully tested application.
Now, inside that recipe, there are two instructions or plugins that are super important for us. First, you've got the compiler plugin. That just takes the Java code that we can read and turns it into bytecode that the computer can actually run. And then there's the Surefire plugin. This is the magic. It automatically goes out, finds all of your tests, and just runs them. No clicking buttons required.
Okay, so now our project has its universal recipe. It's time to take the next big step. It's time to cut the cord from the IDE completely. Let's see how we can run our tests directly from the command line.
Now, here's something you really have to understand. The Maven that might be bundled inside your IDE is super convenient, but it's not the real deal for automation. For your project to run truly anywhere, you need to install Maven on your computer's operating system itself. This is what lets you, or an automated server, run everything from a simple terminal window.
And you won't believe how easy it is once it's installed. To run your entire test suite, you just open up a command line, you navigate to your project's main folder, that's the cd command, and then you type one thing, mvn test. That is it. Maven takes over, reads your pom.xml recipe, and kicks off the whole shebang.
Okay, that's huge. We've successfully run our tests completely outside of the IDE. But now let's zoom out. How do we share all this great work and collaborate with the whole team? Well, this is where Git and GitHub come into play, and they are the absolute blueprint for team collaboration.
People get confused about the difference between Git and GitHub all the time, but this analogy makes it so clear. Think of Git as your own private, local notebook. It's the software on your computer where you track all your changes and save your drafts. GitHub, then, is the central shared library. It's the website where everyone on the team puts their finished work for others to see. So you commit changes to your local notebook, and then you push your work to the shared library.
And this quote right here really nails why this system is so powerful. Everybody gets to work in their own local repository, their own notebook. This is brilliant because it means people aren't constantly tripping over each other's work. You only share your code when you are good and ready.
So this all leads to a really simple and powerful daily rhythm. It's a three-step cycle. First, you code and test on your machine. Second, when you get to a good stopping point, you commit those changes to your local Git notebook with a little message about what you did. And third, at the end of the day, you push all those commits up to the shared GitHub library for everyone else.
All right, let's recap. We've got our local setup sorted with Maven. We've got our team collaboration handled with Git and GitHub. Now it's time for the grand finale, putting it all together into a fully automated pipeline. This is what people call a continuous integration, or a CI, workflow.
Let's just walk through what a typical day looks like with this setup. So picture this. From 9 to 5, your whole team is coding away, committing changes to their local Git notebooks. Then, at the end of the day, everyone pushes their final changes up to the central library on GitHub. Then, while you're sleeping, the magic happens. An automation server, something like Jenkins, wakes up. It pulls down all that new code and uses that mvn test command we learned to run every single test from everyone on the team. So the next morning, the team walks into a fresh report telling them if all their combined work is a success. This is what we call a nightly build.
So let's just trace that chain of events one more time. It starts with you. You push your code to GitHub. An automation server like Jenkins is always watching, and it detects that new code. Jenkins then uses Maven, our universal key, to build the project. Maven, in turn, uses its Surefire plugin to run all your tests. And finally, a report is generated, a simple thumbs up or thumbs down on the health of the entire project.
And just like that, you've gone from a test that only runs on your machine to a professional automated pipeline that makes your whole team stronger. Your code is now being tested automatically, every single night. You've unlocked a whole new level of automation, so the only question left is, what are you going to automate next? That's all for now. Happy automating!